Emirate.
Emirate 98.5 FM.
98.5 FM Ilorin. Emirate.
Emirate 98.5 FM.
My name is Bukola Aziz, the chairman, correspondence chaplain of Kwara NUG.
Celebrating harmony, shaping the future.
I urge you to listen always to Emirate Radio 98.5 Ilorin, the voice of the people. My name is Bukola Aziz.
Good morning, listeners. It's studio time check. It's 1 minute past the hour of 10 o'clock from the studio of 98.5 Emirate FM, the voice of the people. Good morning, and the program is 10 points. My name is Bukola Omoshewo, and I have my guest already seated. The headlines are screaming, and it's not an exaggeration. The stories are painful, from Katsina to Kaduna to Benue, from Benue to Kwara here. The scripts are many, and it's all about gunshots, smokes, tears, and fresh graves. Good morning to Standpoint. Good morning, yes, to you all, our listeners in Standpoint 98.5 Emirate FM. I'll be looking at issues, of course, that has to do with national interest. In the studio with me this morning, I have the honor of having Honorable Idris Buko in the studio. Good morning, comrade.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, Nigerians all over and listeners all over the world.
And I also have the privilege of having Dr. Adeyanju Adeola, PhD, FCP here, a public affairs analyst and a social commentator, and also the non-central coordinator of CLPAN here in Nigeria. Good morning, sir.
A beautiful morning, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you for just taking that call. Yes, Nigerians are hearing you quite well. It's we're not coming in a very good mood this morning again, because the story seems to be the same. Children are waking up without their parents, and the citizens becomes refugees in their own town. Yes, it's unfortunate. This is not just statistics, but there are names, faces to all these abnormalities. Comrade Boko, I want to start with you this morning. I'm talking about Boko Haram terrorists buried over 100 abductees and victims in Kwara community, precisely Woro, accuses Nigerian government of propaganda. We saw the video over the weekend.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've seen the video.
Yes, I did.
Okay. We also saw the counter reaction coming from the state government as well, and that is, of course, not surprising as well. So, okay, Comrade Buko, in all of this, how do we start? How do we go on?
Well, the first thing is that it is very saddening and it is heartbreaking, that what happened in Woro happened in the first place. Now that it has happened and we are counting the losses, those that have lost their family members, the properties destroyed, is unquantifiable. People, it's a shock that some people will never recover from for the rest of their lives. While we are amidst this, while the government has reacted as usual, because the government usually reacts to this kind of unfortunate incidents, the government has reacted. The president has approved or ordered the deployment of about 1,000 troops in the area, and then we have seen the activities that have followed in terms of intervention response to the emergency situation created already. We've seen the state government, the Kwara state government has inaugurated a 7-man committee, headed by His Highness, the Chief of Kogiji, who is a former House of Assembly member in Kwara State here. He's a capable hand, truly, to handle the task. But like we've always said, beyond being reactive, what are the proactive measures the government had put in place or is putting in place to forestall this kind of ugly occurrences? So while we are in the shock, we are still yet to recover from this shock. We have seen the audacity of the terrorists, it was a deliberate act to counter the misinformation or the inaccurate information in the public circle.
I'm cutting you.
Trying, yes, to underscore, or to lowball the quantity of abductees, okay? Because from the information coming from the community and even from the critical stakeholders in that area had before, in some report before this video, shown that the abductees are around that number 176. And of course, presently the number of dead body from that incident is over 300. You understand? Some people were burnt, some were slaughtered, some were pushed in the river, but it was a very, very, very tragic situation. So while we are yet to recover, like I said, we saw the audacity of these terrorists, to video the kidnapped victims. And in the background, I was trying to analyze the background of the video. It's like to me the background appears as if maybe it's one school. The background is not clear. It doesn't show that they are in the forest. It's trying to show. I was analyzing the video critically to see, but it doesn't, the background doesn't show that they are in the forest, as if it's a public, you understand. But the terrorists, they were smart enough to the angle of the videos, they try to ensure that it does not, you understand, it does not give a clue of where they are keeping these people. So that's very audacious. So it means the intelligence agency, the intelligence security frameworks of Nigeria need to do more. That's number one, to track these people and then to bring back these abductees safely. And then also to call on the government. We should not be rigmaroling on the same point whereby we go for ceremony, we go for photo ops. At the end of the day, people are kidnapped. Then the usual thing follows. There will be airstrike. There will be. I'm not saying that they should not be neutralized, or there shouldn't be the maximum level of offensive should not be deployed on such kind of terrorists. But we need to change our strategy, which is the gaps, or which remain the gaps, the very wide gaps I'm seeing. The same strategy, we cannot be doing the same thing at the same time and expect different results. And of course, it has been usual. This is not the first time this is happening. This is not the second. This is not the third. It is not in 2025 that this kind of things have happened. So I think it is high time we learn from our experience. We go back to the drawing board to review our strategies.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Comrade Buko here in the studio on Standpoint. And I also have with me Dr. Adinyoju Adiola, very much around with us this morning. Doctor, when you got that video, when you saw that video, what was the first thing on your mind?
It is quite unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that this issue of kidnapping and collecting ransom, killing of innocent Nigerian doesn't happen yesterday. It has been ravaging Nigeria for years, and we all realized when it became pronounced, even in the neighboring states. What kind of levels of proactiveness has the government put in order to to stop or to reduce this kind of, to eradicate this kind of incident? That is what came to my mind. That automatically we just went to sleep and believe that something is happening somewhere and we are left concerned. Because I begin to look at a situation from the simple analysis that if from whatever amount is security vote, we can just take 5 million out of it, million not billion, 5 million, probably the security vote on a monthly basis, maybe 10 million, let me put it like that, and put up a solar panel that is not cost more than probably 30,000 naira, and mount it on each of the electricity pole in these villages. Then let us have a kind of drone that will be controlled, if it is the DSS or the police or the civil defense station room, that will monitor what is operating there on daily basis, so that there will be a swift action. I look at it as a simple logic and common sense that probably the government are still behind civilization, just as if we are 50 years back behind what's supposed to happen. Because if you think you are left concerned for that magnitude of people, you should believe that it is a record in your administration, and it has become an international issue for people to have seen such kind of a thing. So it is not too good at this particular period of time. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now to the video proper. Let's look at the video itself and reaction coming from the state's government. Many have said it's just the many things we have expected, and as expected, unexpected, Boko Haram has been the attacker, because now we are even confused who exactly masterminded that attack from on Woro community. But whichever way, we know they are terrorists, and that these terrorists have come to, the audacity, that's the word, the audacity, and the fact that they are even, they're kind of attacking the government for propaganda on an issue like this. And that is where the pains come. And let's look at the statement credited to the State Commissioner for Communication in person of Mrs. Bolanle Olukoju, when she said, since the incident, there have been many varying accounts regarding the number of, I'm quoting her, varying accounts regarding the number of persons abducted. For this reason, neither the state governments nor security agencies have announced a definite figure. Our priority remains the safe rescue of every affected citizens and ensuring that those responsible are brought to justice. The statement further said, we have engaged Woro community leaders to assist in identifying individuals seen in the footage. As of now, a few persons have been identified from the video as from the residents of Woro community. Representative have also indicated that more individuals remain unaccounted for. Let's just stop by the way. It is quite unfortunate and interesting as well to note that the terrorists, they have the intelligence is there to tell the government that don't tell your people what is not. This is the real situation. You don't tell people that 30 people were kidnapped, where we have 176 in our captives. It's unfortunate, and I think it should be an embarrassment to the government of the day. What is your thoughts?
Well, the first thing, you see, there should be accountability. Of course, we know that leadership accountability in Nigeria is a mirage. It's a work in progress. We are still yet to catch up with it, and that's by the way. But in times of crisis, there should be a dedicated framework by the policymaker, by the federal government, by the state government, even by the local government, to have pinpoint, accurate information. This is not the time for propaganda. This is not time for lowballing anything. Yes, we know in security matters there are strategic information that should not be in the public, but it is not in the aspect of maybe lowballing. But from the statement of the Honorable Commissioner, she said that they are still, they have not concluded in their own, within their own, capacity, in their own capacity, they have not concluded, because they are evaluating, according to the statement, they are evaluating the faces that, showed up in the video, or that were captured on the footage, which is normal, because if you look at it at another time, this is the terrorists. They are not only efficient in brutal attacks or kidnappings or their mode of operation alone. No, they also rely on the media to create fear, to create, confusion as an approach. So I think the government is trying to, put that into check. And what we expect to follow up now is, maybe before the week runs out, we expect the government to issue
Come
a
out with a number.
statement, specific numbers now. If you say that, because from the statement of the government, they are, even though the terrorists claim that this is
Your number.
176 people,
Of your people.
all from Waro, from the video, the terrorists have not been able to give one-on-one counting that what's your name? My name is so person, I'm from Waro, to give us that 170,
But according to
176 number.
reports, Mr. Abuko,
Yes, yeah.
or the reports that people have begun to identify
Yes.
some people they saw
No,
in the video.
From the local, you
Yes, from
understand?
the local.
From the local
Yes.
intelligence, many people have been able to identify some of those people to be from that community. But
yes.
since the government is the one in charge, they are the one that
waiting for them
have
to
the
say something.
authority, they are the one that have the resources that is not available to every other person, then we are expecting that within this week, between now and Friday, the government should be able to make another, updates. And I've advised before now that in this kind of situation, there need to be an accountability. There need to be a
Transparency.
dedicated government apparatus to handle this matter of insecurity in Kwara State, both in terms of communication, both in terms of every other thing. It shouldn't be, in fact, in a normal situation, this is a crisis situation. That's, statement shouldn't have come from the Honorable Commissioner for Communication or whatever. This is not a usual, this is special, this is not a usual business. This is a crisis, this is an emergency, and we need to have a dedicated line of communication from the government to handle the matters of insecurity in Nigeria, and specifically in this case in Kwara State, even down to the local government level. There should be an harmonized framework or approach of communication, not only communication but every other thing that has to do with the matters of the crisis we are in. Whether we like it or not, we are in crisis.
Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, this is Standpoint on 98.5 Emirate FM, the voice of the people. And today we're looking at issues of national interest coming from our own Kwara State here. Over the weekend, we had Boko Haram parading over 100 abductees victims to Kwara community, and accusing the government of propaganda about the number of people in their captives. Doctor, I asked Honorable Idris Boko that question. I'm throwing that question to you. When you get statement like this coming from the government, it sometimes it seems that it makes the people lose hope that are they really in control. We hope that in this instance and this particular occasion, it should not be business as usual. There should be total transparency. We are talking about human lives here. So, well, many have asked the question, suppose Boko Haram did not parade the number of people with them, or the video footage we saw over the weekend, the government would have kept quiet all along. You are smiling, Doctor. Is this how we hope to continue? Is this how it ought to be?
You see, this is a period of sincerity of purpose. Sincerity of purpose in the sense that we have been expecting a kind of state-local relation and local relation, whereby there will be an accurate information from the local government. We have 16 local government in the Kwara State to the state government, where information will flow, and local relation. Most of the local government that share boundary between each other should be able to checkmate and communicate with each other. That apart, we are talking of data gathering. I don't believe by now, if the state government can enhance a kind of election where we get the accurate numbers of people that will vote, and the numbers of people that collect their PVC, and you cannot even check the data of people that reside in a particular place, that means there is no sincerity of purpose. With this now, I suppose the minister concerned, or the department
commissioner
concerned, the commissioner, God bless you, concerned, supposed to relate with the local people. Probably the local government have about 7 departments, and they have statistic department in their area. they're supposed to know demographically the numbers of people that have missed, probably the gender, the age,
It's over
and
2
what
weeks
have you.
that incident
Exactly.
occurred.
So that means that our intelligent gathering and data analysis is too poor, and that is not too encouraging. And I don't believe the commissioner is supposed to have said something now. He's supposed to come with an empirical fact that will tell us and even give hope to the majority of the inhabitants that this is what the government have done, not a kind of probably a statistic that is not too accurate, or probably they are just trying to get information from an individual to know what is operating.
Thank you so much. And if you're just joining us, this is Standpoint 98.5 Emirate FM, the voice of the people. And on the program today, I have Dr. Adeyanju Adeola. I also have with me Honorable Idris Buko. We're looking at issues concerning security. Comrade Buko, security from Niger, Benue, record, Niger, Benue, Kwara. Still, the records are coming in by, and it's not stopping.
Okay.
It's just about fresh attack. And this is, of course, heightening the tension. Just yesterday, we have reports coming from Share, Ifelodun local government, and over the weekend, we also have the one coming from
Gbogbo on Saturday.
Yes, on Saturday. And the question, I was in a particular forum over the weekend, and somebody said it seems Kwara is on the heat. But whether Kwara is on the heat or not, we saw Niger State also having a fresh attack as well. We saw Benue. All these states are within the north central, zone. Then we look at what is also happening in the northeast over the weekend. Even as of yesterday, we got reports where ISWAP had went on an attack on a particular base in Borno State. I don't know if you read that particular news.
Yes.
So it's so unfortunate.
And sorry, even over the weekend there are attack in Borgu local government area again, in Konkoso and some other villages, Pikasa, in villages around those areas where the bandits, burnt people's houses and then they slaughtered some people. I think there were about 35 mortalities in that incident. Continue.
Okay, so it's you that is going to continue the discussion, though.
Yeah.
Also, in all of this, we thought by now we'll have seen with the government pronouncing one operation this, operation that. We had to have seen a whole lot of difference. I asked you the last time you were in this studio, I said, how long do we have to wait? Are we anticipating too early? Are we asking for too much? Are we all over twist? Or perhaps the anxiety is holding on so much on Nigerians, and that is why we don't even seem to appreciate what the government is doing, or perhaps we are not seeing them working.
Well, it's not that Nigerians are not appreciating the government. That's one. Secondly, it's not that Nigerians are all over twist, that we keep asking for more. We haven't even gotten any, not to even ask for more. So it's not about that. It's about the reality. It's about the reality on the ground, and then the visible gaps on the ground. Now, in our previous discussions, in our previous sessions in this radio station, I've analyzed consistently. And I think no matter how long it takes, whether it will take me to be repeating the same thing till we go back to our creator, we will not get tired of saying it. We need to understand the root causes. What is the causes? What are the causes of insecurity? Like you rightly identified, you talked about Niger, you mentioned Kogi, you mentioned Benue, you mentioned Borno in the
Kwara
northeast. So this is the reality. The entire northern region, all the insecurity Nigeria is battling with today, the epicenter of Nigeria's insecurity is in the northern region, comprising 3 geopolitical zones. We have the north central, the northeast, and the northwest. Now, the first thing, I've said it over and over again, the landmass. Nigeria has 938,310 square kilometers of a landmass. Of this landmass, over 744,000 square kilometers, making up 79.35% of Nigeria's landmass, is in northern Nigeria. That's northeast, west, and south. Of this, the northeast takes the largest portion, about 28 point something percent, followed by the north central. That's number one. So This landmass, apart from their size, the fact that they are size, they are interlinked, they are interconnected through various boundaries. If we start from northeast, Borno shares border with Yobe, Yobe shares border with Bauchi, Bauchi shares border with Kaduna, this one shares border, Kaduna shares border with Niger, Niger shares border with Kwara, Kwara shares border with Kogi, Kogi. If you, it's a study, it's a research that I have done, I know what I'm talking about. There is an interlinked, complex boundaries among these states that they are. So I'm coming back to the implication. The implication is that there is free flow of free entry and exit of security threats. Let me use the word security threats from here to there. So that's number one. I've emphasized always about the issue of national parks or thick forest. If I tell you that all the way from Barutain here in Kwara State, that boundary, there is a link, there are ways, paths, forest linking that Kanji Lake National Park up till Borno, Sambisa and other things. Would you believe me? There are. So amongst other things, we have non-functional local government areas. Whether we like it or not, the local government areas in Nigeria are ineffective. They are not functional. Whatever grammar we blow about it, that is the truth. The local governments in Nigeria are not truly functional.
The autonomy is not working.
Where is it working? So whether we like it or not, it contributes. It's one of the factors affecting insecurity. If you look at the infrastructure, doctor mentioned about having a solar panel attached to an electric pole. Doctor, if I tell you that there is no electricity in some places in Nigeria for the past 10, 11, they have not seen electricity. They don't even have pole. They have never even seen pole. Would you believe that?
I guess of it.
So-
That's why I made mention
so-
of mounting it on the electricity.
Lack of infrastructure. Some people don't even have that. You may have electricity pole, but there's no electricity. No. Some people for decades, in fact, since the creation of Adam, have never even seen an electric pole in their area. Not to talk of having electricity. This is not an exaggeration. I know. I can mention tens of such areas. You get my point. So lack of infrastructure.
Here in Kwara State.
Yes, lack of infrastructures. There are communities. If you go to some, I'm a widely traveled person. At least out of the 36 states, I know I've traveled or I've been, stayed, not just passed through, in more than 31 states. Among the 36 states in Nigeria, I know what I'm talking about. So lack of infrastructure. There are places, there is no school. There are some communities that they even have to cross to the neighboring, that's international border communities, that they have to go to school in another country. No basic health facilities, not to even talk of road or other things. So lack of infrastructure is something that needs to be addressed. Now, educational enrollment. How many children? What is happening? Have we taken time to study the enrollment? How many numbers of children are in school? On one side, how many numbers of children are out of school? On the other side, do we know what is happening in the north? So, largely, I'm driving at a point. The point rests that there is no synergy. You understand? Doctor mentioned as far as talking about local intelligence, local networking. Barutain and Kayama, they share boundary. What is the coordination? You understand? It has to be holistic. There need to be a grassroots synergy between local communities. This is Ilorin community. This is Barutain community. What relationship, what coordination, what collaboration exists between this neighboring community to tackle insecurity? Then you take it holistically from there to local government, from local government to state government, from state government. Even the last time here we talked about it. To state government, what is the collaboration between states, Kwara State, Niger State, Kogi State, and what is the collaboration between the state in the northwest, Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara? What is it? None. That is what is happening. So with all these things, there are a lot of gaps, a very wide gaps that has not been taken care of, and that's why the insecurity persists. And I'm telling you from the readings, if you deal with facts, there's no how that fact is clear, facts are blunt, data is supreme. You get my point? Data will show you clearly, pinpoint whether you like it. Is now rest for you to take it or you leave it. There is there are wide gaps. And I'm telling you, from despite the fact that the government is doing its own commendable effort within its reach, but I can tell you that it's like we are giving or administering paracetamol for someone that is, suffering from the symptoms of typhoid. You get my point? So we need to go back to the drawing board, we need to review our strategies, and we need to examine and evaluate the policies, because as it is presently, there are policy syndromes in Nigeria. The government policies are not, being evaluated or are not being channeled towards tackling the root causes and even, nipping in the bud the things that could, that keep fueling this insecurity in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Comrade Buko in the last 5 minutes. Yes, a very long one you had there, trying to give a clear analysis on the issues regarding the recent frequent attack, especially in the North Central. Okay, now, please, can we listen to this together? Okay. Okay. That is I'm sure you know the voice. Whose voice is that? That is, yes, Udume, yes.
Okay.
He was making a submission as regards to his inability to visit his own town in the last 3 years. Very unfortunate. That was Senator Undume trying to give his own situation reports coming from Borno State. Doctor, with what my brother Comrade Buko said earlier on, the Niger, the Benue, the record. Let's look at what happened in Share yesterday. One would have expected that Kwara would have had a rest after the Woro attack. And just before the weekend, we had reports that letters were written to some communities. I don't know if you heard that. Letters were written to some communities, and one would have expected, or maybe perhaps the security agency concentrated on those communities in which they said they were going to attack. And we saw them attacking another different community entirely. It's a gameplay. You understand? It's a kind of they play with the minds of even Nigerians or Kwarans. Yesterday we saw for like over an hour there was a serious a battle within the security, and some have also said it was not the security, but it was just the collaborative effort of the youth in Share that came to halt that particular attack. And just like what you mentioned during the week, we also had an attack from on Bubu. Am I correct?
Bubu,
yes, on Saturday. Doctor, in all of this, do you think there's more that Kwarans can do? And interestingly, I want to quickly add this. There have been reports that there have been some movement of people intrude into Ilorin capital in the last 1 week. I think the government should take very good opportunity to use this information and to work, and of course to also protect us as well. There have been I got some reports, I read some unverified report, let me use that word because I don't want to be taken up on it. Unverified report says that there have been intrude of people, especially towards these axes, these axes from Zongo and the rest of it downwards to UITH, and the people have been in flux of different kind of faces, unusual faces, and we're employing the government to make use of these unverified reports and use intelligence to sort this problem before things goes out of hand. Doctor, yes. I'm asking for your response.
See, this thing involves 3 categories of people: the government themselves, their agency like the security architect, and the commoners. The most difficult battle to fight is guerrilla warfare, people that are faceless. And I have to say that our security architect has been superb, because if you look at the kind of little ammunitions and intelligent gathering activity they have within themselves, and they were able to spotlight somebody, I think along Ajase, who happened to be a beggar and is having an explosive device with him. It was televised. Automatically they are working.
Seriously.
The main aspect And the categories of people that need to work extensively now is the government and the commoner. Why I say this is that when a comrade talk about our game reserve and what have you, I mentioned that the government need to work extensively along with the commoner, in the sense that it seems that government law normally catch up with the law-abiding Nigerian alone. Because if you go to those game reserve area, it is the law-abiding Nigeria that is probably hunting some bushmeat that will be arrested. Some people have used that to be their domain where they reside upon, and nobody's checkmating them, not until when they come out to come and perpetrate their havoc, and they will still go back to reside in that area. And you know what happened across Kwara these days? Nobody has been trained down, nobody has been captured, and they are still releasing the video, meaning that it seems that we don't even know our territory, we don't know most of where we occupy, rather than where we collect tax, which is not too good. And to this, there must be a kind of proactive measure, especially those areas, because these people can release information that will be kind of deceiving in a way that probably when you concentrate in that or oasis where they say they are coming, probably they are going to another place.
They tell you are coming
so
today.
Exactly. That is why the community need to see something and say something according to the National Orientation Agency or the Landlord Association. You must know the categories of people at which you are giving house. Yes, because you know, with this economic situation, some people will like, I will not collect for a room. I will not collect 20,000 from you because and that person may be a sincere person. Somebody will come with 150,000 and you take it. And even inside that room, according to revelation that just came up, somebody said when they kidnap, in the same environment they live, people used to love them because of the kind of idea they will portray. And in the same room, they will lock up somebody that is being kidnapped in a particular state and collecting ransom in another state. The video has been released. All this is being worked upon by our security architect, but do they have the capacity, the machinery to work effectively and efficiently? We know what is happening. A lecturer, a professor was just kidnapped in Borno.
And lost his life.
Exactly. In I think Nigeria University, a professor was kidnapped and killed. And many of Nigeria Army general has been killed. You know that kind of a thing. It is not too good for our nation, and that is why I am appealing to the government at all levels, federal, state, and local government. They should work in synergy, and the commoners should help themselves alone. Coming to capital city will be too disastrous, and that is when we will be exposed that we don't have any security architect at the capital city. By now, I expect Sobi Barrack to have division even in most of this thick forest area. But then look at exactly, most of the community was shouting now that most of their vigilante has been taken to the capital city on training as a forest guide. If somebody now use 20 years to rehearse how to mad, how long will that person now live to practice the madness? Whatever we want to do, I think, is to just be in the frame time supposed to do it and dislodge these people to where they will work effectively. Give them the arm and ammunition they will work with upon, so that the life and people and property of people will be secured.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doctor. You had the comic part of it, even though it is so sad. But the comic relief came in just unexpected. If you are just joining us, this is Standpoint and the program 98.5 Emirate FM. In the studio, I have Dr. Adeyanju Adeola. He's a public analyst and a commentator. Then we also have Idris Buko, Honorable, a public policy analyst and a political rights and an advocate for good governance. And we're still looking at issues coming from security. And yes, let me approach the studio line is 07056902827. 07056902827. 09031917355. 09031917355. You can also give us your WhatsApp messages on the 09134158376. Comrade Buko, a little bit away from security, though we'll have to come in before we go because there are reports still coming in as regards to security. But while we are looking into that, let's look at the developments over the weekend. On Friday, INEC releases new timetable, and we saw some people already coming out to say no, that there has to be a reschedule as the timetable clashes with Ramadan.
Well, you see, one of the root causes of insecurity, religion is one of it in Nigeria. Okay, religion. is one of the combustibles, let me use the word, is one of the combustibles fueling insecurity in Nigeria. Unfortunately, Nigerians like to, you know, frame themselves along religious path. I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian,
Okay.
but that has never reflected in our character, in our conduct, and even our overall business of governance in Nigeria. When people come together to embezzle public funds, you will not see a Muslim saying, ah, haza haram, this is haram. You will not see a Christian saying that the Bible said, thou shalt not steal. But when it comes to using religion to gain political points, Nigeria is a champion of that. That is why I, as a person, I see religion as a personal thing, and I believe that the application or the usage of religion in the conduct of Nigerian political business or governance or politics, political business, should be outrightly expunged. And that should be substituted with what? With nationalistic values that build our nation, that put us on the path of progress. Now to INEC. The present INEC chairman, Professor
Yes,
Amupitan. Thank you very much. Amupitan. There are allegations against him.
Already.
It's not allegation, but there are evidence-based allegation against him of what he has done in the past, before he becomes an INEC chairman, showing clearly his position to be a biased person or to portray anti-nationalistic values. Are you with me? To Nigeria, writing in written documents about Nigeria, which is unpatriotic. Now, with this allegation that is coming, already he has been painted, he has been alleged to have a phobia or to have a particular negative mindset about Muslims and Islam in Nigeria. Now, with this policy of conducting election within, the month of Ramadan and other things, so it could be used further against him to be insensitive, as the vice president said, Atiku Abubakar, that said that it means he's not sensitive. And I read yesterday where some people went as far back as some years to bring the change of election dates due to the Easter celebration because it clashed with. So in Nigeria, leaders have to be very sensitive to know the kind of people that they are giving position that has to do with national interest or affairs. That's number one. Then secondly, the politics, religion remains a leeway that politicians use to score their own political point or to achieve or to perpetuate their political interest, whether at the national, at the state, or any other level. So we need to put this into outright check. So for me, Islamically, Islam does not say that. Islam does not encourage laziness. You get my point, that maybe because there's fasting, you shouldn't walk, or you shouldn't do another thing. But with what is on ground, with the antecedents of
the person in charge
of the INEC chairman, and with what is proof, it is in the public domain. It is not an allegation which is deniable. He wrote those things to international, you understand. So number one, apart from the fact that it portrays Nigeria in bad light, it also expressed phobia or negative sentiment for some members of religion in this country. So I think that is what is fueling these agitations and other things. But whatever, in the interest of the nation, for national security and national interest, then I think the INEC should review that and to make sure that it reflects what needs to be done. Because if not, perhaps it is the antecedent of the INEC chairman
that is working against him
now.
Okay.
So that is my take about that.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yeah, you are very correct, and I think logic alone might not work sometime in the area of political science, and one can say that one man's objectivity is another man's subjectivity on the same matter. I quite appreciate what Honorable have said, which if somebody look at his antecedents probably one can marry two and two together to make four elsewhere, that most of this thing is a calculated attempt. Notwithstanding, he might still be looking at it the other way around. Probably the only month will be a month that everybody will be so holistic, and probably the kind of noise that used to come after election will be mellowed down.
That's
and
where
you
doctor is
focus,
taking
yes,
us to.
probably
That's
you
another
will
angle.
focus on your God, Christian, Muslim, at that period of time. Notwithstanding, I think the Senate have stand to probably review. He himself has said that there will be a review of it, because everything must still be subject to people's voice, because we're in a democratic era and we have the tiers of government, we have the legislature that will be able to review whatever action that is about coming up. Notwithstanding, I think I still go with the submission of the my honorable that said that an antecedent normally haunts, and you can easily use logic to make a plausible event of somebody antecedent. Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, this is Standpoint on 98.5 Emirate FM, and we're looking at issues from security to INEC new timetable, and to something more interesting on politics, and that's El-Rufai. He's in the news in the last 1 week. We just can't but talk about it. The presidency this morning says El-Rufai is trying to destabilize Nigeria. Did you read his report or his open letter to Nuru Ribadu?
No, I did not. But I'm aware of the battle, because the battle line had been drawn, not this year, not last year. It started. So I'm aware of their history, and it's all related to politics. They used to be the best of friends. They used to be family. They've done a lot of things together. But that's one thing with Nigerian politics. Politicians have not been able to manage their greediness, their selfish interest, their, well, let me put it at that alone. Their selfish interest. They have not been able to differentiate their personal interest and the interest of the country. They mix it up, and that is why we always have crisis. That is why Nigerian politicians really build institutions. They build themselves. They build their own legacies, personal legacies. And that is why when something happens, when a tsunami comes, it drives not only them away, it drives them and their followers, and there will be nothing left of them. So I am advocating that we should practice institution-based politics, or we should understand the concept of sustainability, and we should incorporate it in our political ideology, in our political strategies, and in our political, engagements. I think this is what it is. Now, they have a problem, which of course we know it is political. It has to do with political interest. Since they are not there, they should have been able to draw the line that this is a no-go area. Whatever politics we play, no matter how dirty, in quotes, people say Nigerian politics is dirty. I don't believe that. I believe it is dirty people that play dirty politics, not the politics itself that is dirty. It is the players, and it is not every player that is dirty, by the way. So they should have been able to draw the line that no, this is no-go area for the sake of Nigeria and in the interest of national security. So there are some things that one shouldn't say in the public, especially even as ordinary citizens, not to talk of people that have risen or that had risen to the positions of a former governor, a national security advisor, and other things. It is really embarrassing, to say the least.
Thank you so much. Doctor, did you read that open letter to Ribadu over the weekend?
I skimmed through it.
You went through it. Then you want to ask, I personally, when I was going through it, I want to ask, how did they go to this level? Then when you look at what El-Rufai said before the weekend, and when he said he tapped phone calls and all of it, of course we know where all this is heading to. We have, of course, there are already two factions on these issues. We see some, of course, the ADC will want to play. Oh, let him speak. Why? He has the right. He has the information, that is what usually happens. And somebody even made reference that it is not less expected of a person like El-Rufai, remembering his antecedents. I'm talking about when he was the
governor.
The governor of the federal, no,
Even
when he
the
was
ki-
in charge
the minister.
of the federal
Capital
capital.
territory.
You remember, I don't know if you've read his book, an
was in
accidental
rule of conduct before
yes,
public,
and all of
BP.
this and everything that was divulged in that particular book, an accidental civil
Civil
servant.
servant, yes.
You want to say, okay, Erifai is naturally somebody that talks a lot, and is somebody who
does.
is ready to spill at the any moment he is allowed to. And now this is getting so dirty, and the federal government came out this month to say Erifai is trying to destabilize Nigeria. Of course, perhaps he has more than we think he has.
No,
He has worked
definitely.
with the government for many years.
And aside that, of course, El Rufai is someone that is very brilliant. Is brilliant. He's a very detailed person, and anybody that is taking El Rufai in a fight should be very, very prepared.
So,
Yes.
Doctor, in all of these, what I want to ask you is, as the situation as the game is ongoing, is playing. Some people have come to say, why don't you allow him to speak? We've seen the likes of articles saying, oh, we are in support of whatever he's doing. The ADC will not smile and believe in that. Of course, it is just another way to rubbish the ruling party,
course, it
with
is.
the information he is dishing out.
Of course.
And of course, like what the thing, like Honorable Buko said, when Erifai says something, you want to believe he said he was close to the government. He was at the corridor of power. And so when there are certain things coming from him, and Nigerians want to say, oh, it is good. And interestingly, Nigerians are beginning to react. Comrade, please,
Yeah,
Nigerians are beginning to react. I saw videos of when he was dancing with the president some years back and all the jamborees and all of it. Comrade Buko, I will allow you to speak on that as well before we leave. In all of this, Doctor, we are talking about the growth of Nigeria. We're talking about the interest of Nigerians. We're talking about the forwardness of Nigeria. And these are primary players. They are primary players in, these are people that will, a long way, play a whole lot of role to tell us what the 2027 election holds for us. This is dirty. What is your own opinion?
Yeah, you see, the issue we have in Nigeria is our political actors that call themselves gladiator. As Honorable have said, if you look at El-Rufai very well, he's a very smart person and very intelligent. And he has worked with many governments. He knows what they use as a propaganda. And he quickly tried to hang himself in the neck of a particular political party that stood as an opposition, because all he said, bugging information, listening to what the NSA is saying, if it is El-Rufai as a single person, he would have been arrested now. But he has hung himself on
With
a
a
particular
political
political
opposition
party.
party.
He's now taking the national recognition, coupled with most of Nigeria that normally swing with information. If El-Rufai speaks today, excuse me, so he will have a lot of followers. If another person come up to say something beautiful, the person will still have part of El-Rufai followers. That means that most of Nigeria were just listening to news and information in order to know where their bread is butter. At that day, we have a situation where everybody can stood on this point. These people will have known that whatever drama they perform, they won't get any followers. And remember, if you give somebody cultures of violence, he will use it against you. Most of what he's doing now is part of experience he gathered during PDP Obasanjo regime, and he played part and demonstrated it in 2015 when Buhari was coming up.
When
So he
APC
used it-
was an opposition party.
Exactly. Now he was not taken as a minister. Now he's trying to use whatever power he has for another political party, and that is why he's operating like that. If not, he would have been unpicked, because antecedent will surely test on him. Say Usoni said it during his tenure. Even journalists were being arrested. Anybody that protested, some people from Kajuru local government who protested their traditional ruler that was being kidnapped and killed after visiting El-Rufai as a governor. Those people were also unpicked for protesting. Why will you now sponsor protest? He has futuristic and know what it takes for Nigeria, that before you become a strong opposition, you must hang yourself on a bigger opposition political party. So El-Rufai is not speaking as an individual now. He's speaking as somebody who have anchorage.
Thank you so much.
And I think the clarification I want to make is that El-Rufai said, I read it, he said that somebody that tapped, El-Rufai will not be that foolish to say that. He said that somebody that did that.
He did say he did it himself.
He did not.
Okay, yeah.
He said that somebody that did it told him.
But he even said it on an
Yes,
interview that
yes.
there's nothing. The government does tap our phone calls too.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
go on.
that's the truth. So he said the person that did it, that tapped the phone, told him. You understand? And for El-Rufai to say that publicly, this is not the first time he's making allegation. There was an allegation he made on Arise TV. I can't remember the date, but it was one Sunday Politics. He said that the so-called negotiations or the peace deal with bandit insecurity, that it is an artificial what? Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
He said that they are paying bandits in Kaduna State and other things.
Yes, some 2 years back.
And it later boomerang because it backfired.
But it all went down.
No,
we expected the government to react.
Yes, but government denied it. But I think some months thereafter, it became a public knowledge that some state governments are negotiating with bandits. Do you remember? So, and got so good, I think some few months ago, towards November or December last year, federal government came out publicly. The president said it, that any state that negotiates with bandits, do you remember?
Yes.
So I think El-Rufai, like you said, is a very smart person. He knows what he's saying. So he said somebody that did it.
He didn't say
So even with that, he can still come up with another revelation tomorrow. Because what you have said now that he said they should pay bandits, he still he granted another interview that he never supports paying of bandit, and his administration did not do that. Now another one in this current interview day before yesterday, now he said that his administration, whatever they are doing, are not paying bandit, but somebody in his administration might be using money to pay bandit. The person who answer that. You know that he has been saying 3 things now.
He's trying to make
so he can
himself
come up tomorrow and said the information we even listen to but we are the one that did it. He may be using it to look for trouble. He want to swing the situation over politics.
We're quite interested there. Thank you so much. I think that's how much we can take today. Before we go, Comrade Buko, your last words to Quarants. At this time, everybody has to be on an alert.
Well, if it is about alert, Quarants have been alert. Quarants have been saying something whenever they see something, but the onus lies on the government to review the strategy and then to get the result. And then most importantly, as the first line, I'm not the one saying it now, it is in consonance with the position of the DSS DG, who say that the first line of defense against insecurity is for the communities themselves to wield weapons to protect themselves against these evil marauders.
Thank you, Doctor.
God bless Kwara State. God bless Nigeria.
Wonderful one. And that is how much we can take on the program this morning. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Adeyoju. I want to say a big thank you as well to Honorable Buko. Thank you so much for this honor to take our calls whenever we do a call or beckon on you. And to Nigerians, remember, you and I are stakeholders to make Nigeria great. Are you patriotic? How patriotic are you? Remember, you and I have no other fatherland. I don't anyway, and I don't intend to japa. So please, let's come together, put our hands together to make Nigeria a better society to live. My name is Bukola Omoshewo. Join me tomorrow for a fresh package of this program, same time.